Hello guys and welcome back. So now in this video we will be adding the target matching inside our game. So for example we have this box right here. Okay, if you perform parkour in it, as you can see the player feet gets inside the box, but when the parkour is done it just then pop up on the surface, okay, on the top surface of this box. As you can see, for now the player feet are in the box, but when it is completed then it is outside the box. And if you perform the same right here, as you can see. So what is target matching? Let me just tell you in simple words, but if you want to know more about target matching in details, then you can check that right here as well. Okay, in the Unity manual just search for target matching. Okay, so what the target matching will do, for example we have this high jump up right here. Okay, if we play the animation right here, as you can see, when the player keep the feet on the surface right there, okay, then from this frame, which is 0 to 3.5, okay, we want to start target matching. Okay, and then to which point we will be target matching, that will be, for example, when the player puts down both of her feet, okay, as you can see perfectly fine, which is 0.94.7. so from 0.23 we will start target matching, or even before that, from right here 0.13, for example, to 94. Okay, and then for example, as you can see, we'll start from 13. Then when we will be typing that percentage in floats, for example this is 14.1, then they type 0.141. our is 13, 0.13, so you will type 0.131 or something like that. Okay, so you can learn more about target matching right here. Okay, just go ahead and read this, and if you get it, that will be perfectly good, but if didn't, then just consider target matching has some tool or code which will make the player feet land on this surface perfectly fine. Okay, that will what target matching will do. Okay, so now on our new parkour action script, okay, right here let's create a header by the name of target matching. And as I told you, the target matching will have a start time and then the end time. So first of all we need to add a reference for that. So we will say serialize field, this will be a float, and then we will say compare start time, and then let's create another serialize field which will be a float, and right here we will say compare end time. Okay, you can name this variables whatever you want. And then after this, let me tell you that we don't want to do target matching for every parkour action. For example, we will be having the fencing parkour actions and some other parkour actions, for example the jumping down, etc, etc. Okay, so we don't want the target matching for every parkour action. So in order to overcome that issue, as you can see right here, when we created this bool look at obstacle, and when it is true, then we want the player to look at the obstacle while performing the parkour. So in the same way we will create a bool, and when that bool is true, then we will do target matching, and if it is not, then we will not perform target matching. Okay, so for that simply create a serialize field. Okay, and the reason I am doing this right here at the top before these two, because if the player wants to enable this, then after this he will be able to fill out these other two, and if not, then we just want to leave the other things right down below, okay, of the bool. So let's name this bool as allow target matching and by default this will be equals to true. And then after this we need another thing which will be the body part of the player. For example, as you know that for the jumping up, okay, we want to match the player feet because the player feet is getting stuck in the on the table and also on that box. Okay, so first of all let me just type avatar target and let's name this compare body part. Okay, so what this avatar target is, so on your browser if you search for avatar target unity, then just open up any of the link, or right here in the unity documentation search for avatar target right here, and then you will be redirected to this web page. And right here you will notice that in the avatar target we have these 6 properties, which is the root, body, left foot, right foot, left hand and right hand. Okay, so we can use these properties for target matching. So as I told you, we will be using the foot, or you can say the feet of the player for target matching, okay, for the jumping up parkour actions. So we will use this left foot, or you can also use the right foot, or whatever foot of the player is the first. So for example, if we select this jump up right here, let's move this forward, and as you can see right here, the player right foot is the first foot which will lands on the obstacle. Okay, so for this animation we will use the right foot, and then for the jump up, let me check it out. Okay, for this one we will also use the right foot for target matching as well. Okay, so that will be it. Enough explanation for the avatar target. Okay, so now before moving forward, let me add a header right there as well for these variables, so that we can know that which variables are for what reason. So as you can see, the animation name, minimum height, maximum height is for checking obstacle height, and then this look at obstacle and required obstacle. For this we will be having a different header. Okay, adding header is really helpful in Unity, and it also makes the code a little bit cleaner and understandable for other developers. Okay, so now for this one we will say rotating player towards obstacle. Okay, that is it. So now if you click on parkour actions, and right here now you can see everything is looking neat and tidy. Okay, so now right here, as you can see, all of these are serialized field. Okay, so we need to make references for this target matching variables. Okay, and references, so actually we have just one reference, which is the compare body part. Okay, so for creating references, what we will do, let me just copy that from there, paste it down below, then the second one, and after this paste it down below, then third. Okay, and then this fourth one, and then for references we will just simply say public bool. Okay, let me actually remove this line of code from there. Okay, so public bool, and let's name this as allow target matching, and this will be equals to, and then add the greater sign right there. Then for this one we will say public avatar target, and we will say compare body part. Okay, I am just making the first word of each of this variable capital right here for the reference. Okay, now for this one we will say public float, and then we will say compare start time. Then we have this one as well, so you will say public float, and for this one we will say compare end time. That is it. So now right here we will say that if the allowed target matching is true, then we want to do target matching. Okay, but before doing that, right here let's create a public vector3 by the name of compare position, and we will say get set. That is it. It is similar to the required rotation. And what this compare position is, this will be basically a point on our obstacle on which we want the player feet to be. For example, this point, okay, on top of this boards, okay, and for this box we have this top area of this box. And how we will know that? It will be by using the height information. So right here, if allow target matching is true, we will say compare position equals to hit data dot height info dot point. That is it. Now if we get back to the Parkour controller script right here, as you can see, just as we did for the look at obstacle, now we need to do the same for the comparing target, or you can say matching target. But for that we need to create a function first of all. So right down below we will say void compare target, and in here we will pass a new Parkour action by the name of action, okay, as a parameter. And then we will say that animator dot compare target, and in here we need the compare position, so we will say action dot compare position. Then we need the rotation, so we will say transform dot rotation, and then after this we need the body part of the player. So for that we will simply say action dot, and what is called, it is compare body part, okay. So we will say dot, where is it, compare body part. So we will say compare body part, then we will say new. It now needs the weight mask, so we will say match target weight mask. This will be actually a contributor. So in here we need to first of all pass the direction on which we want to perform target matching. So as you can see, we'll be performing target matching in the Y direction, okay, in this direction, okay, from the downwards in the upwards direction, okay. So for that, right here for the X we will pass 0, then for the Y we will pass 1 because we want to perform it on the Y axis, and then for the Z we will pass 0, and then at the end we need to pass the match rotation speed. So we don't actually want to match the rotation, so we will just simply pass 0 for that as well. And then after this it needs the compare start time and compare end time. But first of all, let me fix this bracket issue right there, okay. So inside this bracket, actually this 0 1 0 will be inside a vector 3. Okay, we can't use that like that because this is our position. Okay, so make sure that you do this as well. So new match target weight mask, and then add brackets, and then inside that brackets create a vector 3 like that, and then this is for the rotation. And then after the rotation, as I told you, we will be passing the start time and end time. So for that we will simply say action dot compare start time, and then action dot compare, here is it, end time, and that will be it. Then right here before this yield run now, we will say that if action dot, actually let me check the name of it, it is allow target matching. Okay, so if allow target matching is true, okay, then what we will do, we will call this function which is compare target actually. So compare target, and we will pass the action to it. That is it. And now before testing this out, let's change this compare target to match target actually, because this is a built-in word, okay, match target inside the animator component. So make sure that you change that to match target, okay, not compare target. And that will be it. Now if we get back to Unity, let's click right here. As you can see, now we can select between these 6 properties. Okay, so now for the jump up, let me actually first of all check the start time and end time. So if you go inside animation, here is the jump up. Okay, so if we play the jump up, okay, as you can see, when the player keep the feet right there, okay, let me make it accurate. Okay, so right here, so from 055.6 we will start target matching till 0.97, so 0.55 to 0.97. so let's get back right here. So 0.55, and then for this 0.97, that is it. And for the compare, we will use the right foot, since if we check the animation, you will notice that the player keeps the right foot first. Okay, so we will use right foot in the jump up right there, and this will be enabled like that. Okay, these values might be different for you, so make sure that you check it according to your own animation. Okay, so now for the high jump up, it will be the right foot as well. So now for this one, let's check the start and end time. So in the animation high jump up, let's check the time. So right here, actually this 0.19.3, from 0.19 we will start the target matching till 0.97. so 0.19. okay, so let me get back to actions. So right here 0.19 to 0.97, that is it. Okay, for my animation, maybe these values doesn't fit it accurately, but let's just test it out and see how does it looks. Okay, so now if we check this small box, as you can see, it now jumps perfectly fine. Okay, now let's do this bigger box, and as you can see, to this box it jumps perfectly fine. As you can see, there is now not that issue in which when our character controller gets enabled, the player just a little bit pop up in the air. Okay, we don't have that issue. If you check it out, as you can see, we don't have that issue now. And if we try it on this table, so let's run from this direction and do it now. As you can see, the player in the previous videos you saw that half of the player feet were inside the table when we try to jump on it, but now as you can see the player feet is not inside the table and it is perfectly on the table. Okay, so in this way you can do target matching. Okay, for now my values are a little bit not that accurate, but you can just fix these values, okay, for the parkour actions, and then you will be able to see the changes. Okay, you can just play the game and mess around with these values and set it according to your own need. And also if you still have some issues, then make sure that on your jump up, okay, you have the root transform original, then the root transform position Y you set that to feet, okay, and then for the root transform position X you set center of mass. Okay, make sure to do these changes for the jump up animation, and for the high jump up you make sure that you do these changes as well. Okay, original, feet, then center of mass. Okay, so I hope you understand how this target matching works. Okay, and with this done, let's end this video right here.